Juliet Junior College, and I am studying to be a midwife. And I am doing an informative speech on homemaking. So, I adore the vocation of homemaking. In fact, personally, I'd love to adopt this vocation in my life in due time. This is why, after some research, I wanted to provide a place to speak on the art of homemaking. So, for years, homemakers have had an influence on the world from their homes. You might know a homemaker in your life that has brought love, warmth, and direction into your life. These special ladies may be a mother, a grandmother, a friend, a sister, or another associate to you. A successful homemaker leaves a positive impact on those they have come into contact with which hopefully is your experience with these women in your life. Personally, out of admiration and honor, I've spent personal time to learn the skills associated with the traditional homemaker, so I likewise would be proficient in this if I was blessed to be in their place. Considering this, I've read numerous books in relation to this subject. That being said, there are many different types of homemakers, though there are ones with children, elders, ones without children, rich, poor. Nonetheless, each one has their place when it comes to the overall influence they have on society, regardless of status or situation. I'm happy to inform you all on this artistry and vocation. So, a homemaker is commonly defined as a woman who chooses for their work to be dedicated primarily to the home and therefore the benefit of the home. A homemaker is at times a very selfless role. I believe, for example, in the case of stay-at-home mom homemakers, there is a selfless beauty in this role. That being said, there is evidence to back up that children can benefit from stay-at-home moms academically and emotionally. According to a study that an article by Very Well Family references, an increase of performance up to high school age children educationally was seen for children with stay-at-home parents. There are multiple reasons why this can be. I believe a likely reason this could be is because they are blessed to be able to dedicate their attention towards their child holistically, because domestic responsibilities is their personal priority to them. For this dedication, many cultures have respected this role over the course of history. Outside of academics, some children have emotional benefits from stay-at-home parents. According to a study by the EECERJ, or the European Early Childhood Research Journal, we can see a difference in stress levels between children who are in full-time daycare over children in the home in early years of life. So, with homemaking, like any other calling, there is more to it than what is obvious, and seasoned ladies emphasize the importance of heart posture in successfully keeping a home. A large part of homemaking for many families is creating nurturing spaces. There are many aspects of creating a nurturing environment, a home that proclaims safety and love. This can be cultivated by traditions passed down from older generations that they might partake in their homes, like perhaps a special recipe or a game that they play, books read by the bedside to children, and more. Creating a nurturing space heavily relies on how you treat others and the energy that you bring into a space. According to an educational and inspirational book called Living on His Income by Miss Sharon White, a longtime homemaker, the feeling of a nurturing space can be made anywhere, even if you are on vacation and not even really in your house. She states that from her own experience from her mother, whether on a vacation or visiting family or in the car, we knew that being together was an extension of the home. From this, I get that creating a nurturing space has a lot to do with your attitude. I'd love to touch on other aspects of successful homemaking for many households, which is found in cultivating relationships and traditions that sometimes go hand in hand with this. In order to make people feel safe and welcomed, you really need to nurture those relationships that you have within your household. For example, your spouse, your children, and even extended family members, or even in some cases, animals. Some good questions that a homemaker attempting to improve in the area of building stronger relationships that they might ask themselves are like, are you putting energy to giving the individuals in your home the feeling of being seen? Do people feel protected and safe in your presence? Is the home a safe place? Methods of growing closer to household members doesn't have to be monetary. According to Intro to Home Economics by Sharon White, planning intentional time with loved ones does not have to be an elaborate or expensive task, or something that takes up a lot of time. She provides an example where she just engaged in a simple, lovely tennis game with her grandchildren. She says that often just going outside can make someone just feel rich to just spend that time with their family members. So I find it kind of nice and inspirational that she felt rich just spending time with her family members, even though she might have not had that monetary richness that many people might have. So finally, one facet of homemaking that can't be forgotten, I believe, is tradition, considering that tradition affects how some women go about their homemaking. For some, tradition is a big pillar on how they exercise this role in their lives. Tradition can be found from passed down practices from the older generations, or for some, even religion. So these traditions can sometimes act as a starting point for new homemakers or ones that don't have that much experience. Therefore, it is helpful to briefly explore the religious aspect of homemaking for a more holistic view of this vocation as it is for many people. Specifically, I would like to mention that Christianity holds homemaking in a high regard. In the book of Proverbs, we hear about a woman who works for the benefit of her house. She is described as kind, determined, hardworking, and a sacrificial lady. Proverbs 31:15 says that she riseth while it is yet night, and she giveth meat to her household. She gives a portion to her maidens. Applied to a more modern understanding of this, we can take at some aspects of this situation. We see that she is being diligent to take care of those who are in her house. We see that she is showing kindness to them and making sure that they are fed. Likewise, modern homemakers can try to pay attention to those that live with them and be diligent to show them support. It's beneficial to acknowledge the multi-faced nature of this work for a better view of this art that has shaped our world for generations. That being said, these three facets of homemaking, nurturing spaces, cultivating relationships, and sustaining or creating traditions, gives a more holistic view on what homemaking looks like for many people. All of these building blocks, or these facets, really are equally important. While some people might rely heavier on one aspect of homemaking, or some people might incorporate them all, I feel like either way, I feel like it's a beautiful thing that people engage in this in their life. That being said, for many people, homemaking is more than just a physical space. It's a place where love and comfort and memories are made, which sustain both the individual as well as helps create healthier communities.